Oh, Aircraft has a little less HP. Oh, 687! No problem!
I missed my addle.
I don't have sound on.
That could be a problem for your stream.
Front. Two side. Switch.
We're going east-west. Nice. Whoa!
What?
Was one of them misplaced?
Well, there's only 3 people on this side, so that's a problem. We were missing a tank.
That should be okay.
I mean, there's no stack marker, so I mean, the damage you take is going to be the same.
The two flare markers were far apart.
So, I don't think they were at a position, but we got hit by like a lot of them. It wasn't just one. Is that position gonna work?
Oh, maybe the ones in the middle, like, were too close towards B and D. Like, they're horizontally or vertically too close to B and D.
When I say a lot, I mean I saw like 4 things come up on my screen, like on my floating combat tech, and I don't know. That means all 4 of them would have hit us, right? There's no other damage going on at that
I'm gonna
point.
put this back into the middle because I don't think that there's a reason why these need to be.
Oh, did I take as much damage as you guys did, or what? Did I dodge them all?
Like if they're closer together like this, then they should. You should not get hit by the diagonals of any of them.
Do we control which direction they go based on like what direction we're facing at the time? Is that a relevant fact?
No, I'm pretty
They
sure
have-
they're always cardinal and intercardinal.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't see that I took lethal.
It looked like there was one big hit, but I don't know what that is.
No, I have on my screen, you take 69,000 damage, you take 51,000 damage, you take 6,000 damage, you take 68,000 damage.
Yeah, it sounds like
Yeah, that's lethal.
we're getting hit. All right, let's try it again with these placements for the puddle things.
Review positions, please. I don't remember where I was supposed to go.
So you are going to 1 or 3, depending on if you have the marker or not. If you have the marker, go to 1. If you don't have the marker, go to 3.
Okay, and then I go from 1 to A.
You go from 1 to A or from 1 to D, depending on if it's where the first puddle was.
Okay.
I mean, technically, it doesn't matter what side you go on if you didn't have the puddle, as long as the tank and the healer go to opposite sides.
But A or D will be the closest to 1.
Yeah, I think last time we decided that the healer who gets the flare should be at A and D.
I think the healer that gets the flare goes to 3, and the healer that does not get the flare goes to 1.
I thought you wanted the healer puddle.
You mean the puddle? The puddle's at 3.
Oh,
right?
oh, sorry. You're right. You're right. We're talking about different things. Yes, the puddle goes to 3, and then the healer that does not get the puddle, who will then get the flare, goes to 1. And if you don't have a marker, you should still stand on your number, so that you don't get hit by more than one puddle.
You shouldn't get hit by any of the puddles.
They do an AoE, don't they?
The puddles that people drop are like just around them, so you can dodge those ones.
But how big is the radius? It's pretty tight in there, so...
Apparently hefty.
I think if you put like the numbers like right on the circle, I think that would, like, standing right on the circle, I think is about where we want to stand.
Okay, because I moved them in because the diagonals, it looked like the diagonals were hitting us. So, like, we can move them out a little bit, but the more in they are, the easier the diagonals are to dodge.
I think that'll be fine.
If you put it, yeah, if you put it right there, the diagonals will be right on this diagonal. Right?
That one, yeah, but
Oh yeah, and then this one will be right down through here.
Like,
Which
you can see a
means-
line right here on this thing, this little
Well, you can look.
marker that I'm jumping on right here. This is where the diagonals for 3 and 4 are.
Right, and Eos is on the diagonal for 2 and 3, which means right here is dead. Oh, there's this even like marker right here that's like, ah, this is the dead zone. Don't be on the left of this zone. Or it might be as wide as this.
Anyway, yeah, let's so if you are let's suppose Ifrit is a person and you don't have the marker or the puddle, you're not dropping a puddle, then you can stand right there preemptively until the puddle drops. And then you shouldn't get hit. Or you can stand dead center and you shouldn't get hit. And then move out for the knockback. Just make sure you're getting knocked in the correct direction so that we have the tanks and healers split properly. And so that, I guess we're not... The DPS we also want to have split, I guess? I don't know.
can we clarify something? The order that things happen there is we place the 8 ways, then the knockback, and then the puddle? Or is it the puddle, then the knockback?
What do you mean by puddle?
Place the 8 ways first, then the knockback will happen after that. Then DPS will have puddles that they drop.
Yes.
And where do those go?
We're chasing around the circle on the outside edge.
Okay. And so DPS are moving, tanks and healers are going back towards the middle?
Collapsing towards the middle after the 8
Okay.
ways go off.
Although, be careful, you do drop a puddle after the 8 ways go off.
Yeah, 6,000. No problem.
Easy every time.
Front. One side.
1.
Switch.
My toes!
Spicy.
Indeed. Gotta find the limits though. Yeah.
Going east and west again.
Oh, jeez.
You gotta be on her hitbox, and also we had 2 markers going the same direction.
It looks like you can be slightly removed from her hitbox if she's in the center. Not very far, but a little bit.
You absolutely cannot be on the marker and not have a knock and not push knockback.
Would it be
Well, you
easier?
can surecast that.
Would it be easier just to have the tanks go north and west and have the healers go south and east?
Aren't you dodging ice puddles?
I mean, both tanks and both healers go the same way. That way they don't have to switch sides.
If there's no healing to be done, then that's fine.
I don't think there is until after you collapse, because you've got the puddles on the ground, but they shouldn't actually hit you. And then the next thing is the other cleave, which you should again dodge. So it seems like it should be fairly safe.
Flares won't be long after, but let's try it.
Well, I mean, yeah, there are the flares to heal up, but that's the if that's the only damage source that happens.
Right,
then
but I mean after that.
Then you
If you
just need
survive
to.
if you survive the flares, then you shouldn't need immediate healing. So it should be fine until we're back in the middle.
Alright, well, I guess we can do that, then have the tanks are always going to A or D, and the healer is always going to B or C. Their puddles at 1 and 3, respectively.
I think after we move for the mirrors, I'm just gonna keep her there. I think she goes back to the center for that whole business. Behind. 3 side.
And then we're going C side. Going north-south.
Oh,
I recommend... Ow.
that should not be good.
Yeah, I recommend...
Oh, get out from behind
letting-
her, Salenta.
letting the knockback push you into place, but if you're going to not let the knockback push you into place...
Yeah, it looks like you can get a little bit away from her.
I just keep forgetting that it happens.
It's like, you will be standing on, like, super uber death zone, with the 8-way markers, and you're like, oh, let's dodge out of these 8-ways. No. You gotta stand there. Just gotta stand there.
Guts.
And then once you get there, people with markers got to get out.
The spread markers is the frigid water, right? The flare markers. Bueller.
Don't know what it's-
I don't know.
Alright, that one's doing like 80k, and I think the one that's targeting the 8-way ones is called Frigid Stone, and that one's doing like 40, so we're gonna have to get healed in between those.
You have like 8 seconds.
I mean, there should be enough time to heal up between
Before the
the
knockback.
8-ways and the knockback.
Well, I'm only saying this because it isn't happening.
Wait, so does the knockback do damage? And the knockback does 40?
No, if you
No.
get a puddle dropped on your head, you can't take the next hit when we're all stacked at A or C and B or D. So
Frigid Stone is the 4 people get marked with the 8-ways. That does 42k. And then Frigid Water, which I'm guessing is the flare marker, does 80k. So anyone that gets the 4 markers is not going to survive the second hit without healing.
Okay, noted.
I've been doing that, but magic defense might be playing a part of that. I can throw something.
I've always been yeeted off the edge, so it's like, oops.
I mean, yeah, I think at that point you and R should be relatively center-ish anyway, just so you have shields up. If you delay the shield until after the puddle drops, that might do something.
Well, the proper answer is not cast a sucker, go to your marker, and then get yeeted off.
I know what I mean, so you're
In front.
center-ish anyway.
2 side.
North south. Now heal. Then don't move. Now the other person starts moving. Wow.
Ah,
That does a lot of damage, by the way.
ah.
That frigid water.
The AoE.
Yeah.
So, is it the DPS who didn't have the drop markers, the one who gets the follow-up puddle?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
Okay, so something's wrong because I took 109,000 damage 4 times. Sorry, 3 times. And then I took
You got
10,000
Frigid
and then
Needle.
80,000.
Frigid Needle means you got hit by the 8-ways.
Oh, yeah, I think you started moving, like, here? Which is... Yeah, you got hit by 3, because the 1, 4, and 3 hits you right here. Or, like, even, like, right here, you would probably
Yeah,
get hit by all, by 3 of them.
It looks like standing essentially around somewhere between the inner line here and the end of that little diamond thing immediately before. When you get knocked back, should put you about here at the edge.
Alright, I guess we just gotta chill until, I don't know, there's some sort of tell.
Starting closer to the center just to make sure you don't get hit by the puddle, since you really don't want that heavy if you're going to be kiting.
Oh yeah, no, you can't have it. You cannot have it.
I have Eos the shield there.
Yeah, I can't lens that if I'm doing it at the beginning. There's still 40 seconds off cooldown.
Behind.
3 and then 4.
Gotta learn the spots.
Going east-west.
Ooh, I got frozen.
Side.
Oh, wait.
Now move.
Oh, I just went the wrong way.
Yeah. So the knockback doesn't hit you if you get frozen.
Is that still a look
Boy.
mechanic?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow, it's way faster in this.
Look, she's
Little bit.
changing. Don't watch.
Just because she's a teenager.
Look, Japan does not have a problem with that.
In Japan, isn't
Oh.
13 old enough to engage in prostitution?
Good luck,
Technically.
Kelly.
Not practically.
No.
No, not
It's not like-
practically.
No, I mean like
It's not like Japan's particularly
I would say
special.
technically you could do that in the U.S. too.
oh,
Against
think
your
that-
will, of course. But
there's a federal and a local law, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure in North Carolina, for example, I think it's like 15 or 16 is the minimum marriage age, but it gets dropped down to 13 if you're pregnant.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, lots of states have weird age of majority law.
13
Um,
and pregnant.
Carrot, did you die to a puddle?
Yes.
Okay. So that's frigid eruption.
Yeah, you have to start walking back to the middle, like, immediately if you have that heavy on you.
The people that have the puddle should also get as close to the edge as possible to help out with
Well-
people that get heavy.
You know, I tried that and got fucking zorted, so you gotta wait. You just gotta wait.
Front. One side.
Still hate driving.
No, it's off this time.
Yep.
Nice.
She's going to do bud.
Behind her.
Double slap.
Swap.
I see that implicit vault now.
Look away.
When that ring passes, it's safe, right?
Get in.
Scythe is good.
Axes, get out. Alright, boys.
Oh dear.
I'm already open.
So there's a chain
Well,
of.
only one person in.
Okay.
Well, I'm dead.
Wow.
That's fun.
That would real fast.
Alright, so I hovered over my icons, if I can...
I hate X Death.
So
Also,
I
yes,
had
I
a
can now confirm.
tether.
I can now
Did any other
confirm.
DPS have one?
I had tether.
thought it was tethered to an orb, was I not?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
you
so
did.
did all
Okay.
DPS have a tether?
We were not
Okay.
chained to people. We were chained to orbs.
No,
Okay.
I had a tether, so at least one healer gets it.
Alright. I think I had 2 chain icons.
I was definitely chained, I'm pretty sure, to people. Let's find out.
Might change certain people to orbs and certain people.
I'll type it in Discord, because there's kind of no point typing it here.
Wow, your stream's frame rate is offensive. What is going on?
It's probably lagging really hard.
My stream doesn't. I'm not streaming at high quality, which I should probably be streaming at a higher quality.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. A couple people have 2 stacks of something. Tyleet, me, Salenta, and Kanata have 2 chain markers each.
Yeah, it looks like the roles will get split between chains and balls.
So 1 tank, 1 healer, 2 DPS get the chain markers.
Yeah.
Do we know what that stack on the left is? That some 2 people have 2 and everyone else has 1.
The only thing I can tell you is that I was chained to a ball, and so I have 2. And it looks like Tam has 2, and I'm assuming he was chained to a ball since he doesn't have the actual chains.
The name of the buff is Light Steeped versus Refulgent Chain.
So the light steeped people. What were the chain people chained to?
To people.
To 2 other people.
So maybe those are the people that have to resolve the orbs while everyone else handles. Or, sorry, the people that are chained have to resolve the circles and the other people have to resolve the orb.
How many balls are there?
4 balls.
Okay, that's what it looked like.
Yeah.
Chained to the balls tethered to the people who don't have chain.
Wait, I thought somebody had both.
Unless somebody was dead, there shouldn't have been.
No one has. Well, it looks like some of the people who have the chains have 1 stack of the ball.
Yeah, Kanata and Placeholder both
Can
had
balls
1
be
stack
passed
of.
off?
No.
No. They might require that they be taken by other people, but I mean that typically you don't take your own ball. It's just common courtesy. Kanata, did you take a picture or whatever, type it out?
I typed it in bus strats. I can repost it.
So the refulgent people need to stay equidistant, like medium distance. So those are probably the people on the towers.
I mean, all the towers land at the same time, right? So those people just need to split 2 and 2.
And the towers explicitly say that they need they need 1 person in them, no more.
So in normal mode, light rampant was there are 4 towers at first, and 1 person needs to be in all of them. Then there's 2 towers, and 2 people need to be in both of them. And then the last one is there needs to be 4 people in it.
Yeah, at the same time, they did cones targeting certain people that you would direct away from the towers.
Instead of orbs.
It looked to me like there was something. Does she do cones of the people with balls?
What?
I'm just wondering if the massive AoE explosions were towers that people weren't in, or if there was something else.
Oh no, we
Oh,
totally
but-
died to the towers.
If a chain gets broken, I think we wipe.
Yeah.
You will deal unaspected damage to those nearby. Sounds like a wipe.
Yeah, well, I just saw the explosion. I didn't see its source.
And yeah, if like 1 person dies with a chain, then that's like 2 people exploding. And then pretty much everybody exploding.
I mean,
So there's 2 main possibilities here, right? Either the people with the chain deal with the towers, or the people with the chains deal with the orbs.
I'm gonna guess that because of the placement of the towers, that the people with the chains deal with the towers with 1 person in each of the towers. 'Cause
I was
that will
going to
keep
say
you in the perfect distance.
Yeah, that's not crazy. But the reason why I'm pointing out that might not make sense is if there are going to be different numbers of towers, then maybe they can't collapse later.
Well, I'm talking about for this first one that
All
we've
right.
seen.
Fine, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, the obvious one would be people with chains get the towers, and people with the balls just take the one 90 degrees away from whatever they're tethered to.
Yeah, let's try it.
If we're going to try that, clockwise or counter?
Clockwise. Don't be a monster.
Yeah.
So the last stuff everybody throw out there. What are we actually doing?
Okay, so if you have, did we see what the roles were of the people who had the tethers to each other?
Yes.
It looks like
One
it's
tank.
1 tank, 1 healer, 2 DPS.
All right. Well, then I guess we'll just continue with our.
I would speculate on who gets tethered to what, except by process of elimination, I'm guessing that you're always going to be tethered to the 2 opposite roles.
Yeah. So
That's
I'm.
purely a guess. There's
I'm
no
gonna-
indication on the icon.
You're right. You're right. But on that assumption, I think we should use the same markers that we did for the 4 waves, which is tanks at 1,
Mhm.
DPS at 2, which is going to be always placeholder, unless placeholder. Sorry, always placeholder. 4 is always Tylee, and if and then Midori and I adjust, and then the healer is always at 3.
And what are the people that don't have the chains doing? Just staying on the outside and grabbing balls until you get to 4, I guess?
All right, so tank would take the ball. Unchained tank would take the ball at A. Midori or placeholder take the ball at B. Healer takes the ball at C. Tylee or I take the ball at D.
Is there only 4 balls?
There are only 4 balls.
I'm assuming there'll be
And-
more throughout the phase.
I'm not sure it'll tether that conveniently. I'm pretty sure I was tethered to D, for example, last time.
Take the one clockwise of whichever one that you're tethered to, then.
That's what I was initially suggesting, yeah. Rather than trying to go purely based on the map, because if we assume eating your own orb is a problem, that might be.
I mean, I'm going to assume that you get one stack from eating somebody else's ball. Let's see if that's true. It says 5 stacks is bad, so... we might have to adjust later.
I'm glad I can heal myself there. Front. 2 side.
Oh, it's out.
Not normal.
Splinter, why did you move out?
Is that a problem? Why would that be a problem?
Yeah, so on to. Is what I would say, except I realized that I swift casted it. I think I ran.
You moved out before the mechanics went off.
Oh no! Oh.
Look away.
Oh shoot.
Oh, that stunned me so long.
Underneath. Underneath.
Holy shit.
We lost the 50-50. Oh, it's not lethal.
No, it's not.
Oh.
But
We did.
No,
do
but
get
gives you a
damage
mark
down.
of shame.
I mean,
And this is
yeah.
good at being dead.
it screws up your parse.
I mean, they have to incentivize DPS to actually do mechanics.
Oh wait, I should be over here.
Alright, so...
Yeah, Kanata is definitely tethered to a tank. And
Wow. Okay.
I'm definitely tethered to Midori there. Alright. So I guess we'll have tanks at 1. Would healers prefer to be at 3 or 2?
I think we should just always go to one position, so 3 is fine.
No, that's... sorry.
That's not going to
Your
work.
options are 2 or 4.
Oh.
Because it looked like the tanks were tethered to a healer, and I was definitely tethered to a DPS, and we can't make that little zigzag X cross thing in the middle.
yeah, no,
Wait.
I was dead, so I got a good look. Kanata was tethered to Salinta and you. You were tethered to Kanata and another DPS.
Midori.
Midori, then. And Midori was tethered to you and Salinta. So,
Wait, why can't we have a... like...
if you're gonna try to make a square, you just need to swap places with Kanata.
Right, so that's what I was asking. Currently our DPS are at 2 and 4. Do healers want to be at 2 or at 4? Congratulations, you're at 2.
4.
You're at 2. Nope, you waited too long.
We're just
Alright.
analyzing our positions. We're at D and C, so we should be at 4.
Okay. Then the DPS will be at 2 and 3.
He meant he grabbed the orb he was supposed to grab. not. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, you're not supposed to grab those.
Any orbs?
Nope.
Clockwise from the one.
What are you
Okay.
supposed to do? Just walk them?
You need to stay away from them until they get smaller, then you take them.
Take your orb or someone else's?
Your orb.
Ah.
So I was right. It is X-Death.
So we,
Oh.
just, we kite them
Fuck,
around
Steph.
the people in the middle then? Is that the name of this game?
Can you go clockwise?
That's what I'm saying. So we kite them clockwise around the room until they're small enough to just eat them?
Yes.
Okay.
Probably at 4 stacks.
Do you get stacks from kiting it? Is that what gives you stacks?
Nope. Everybody starts with stacks.
Probably
No, that's
maybe-
not
I'm gonna guess getting hit by things increases your stack.
Alright, so we just need
Taking-
to figure out when it's okay to eat them. And are we going to be eating them in the staggered thing, or do they get small enough where it's just like everyone can eat theirs at the same time?
They do an AoE when you eat them, so even when they get smaller, so you can't like take them next to each other.
Hmm. Is there a room-wide AoE or just localized?
It's just local
Okay.
I mean, if
when
we're
they get
still-
smaller.
So it's not like Yag dolls where we gotta like stagger them.
If you grab them when they're big, they do room wide and wipe up.
That's what I think happened on mine. Yeah. Okay. I killed everyone for sure.
I mean, it sounds like kiting them clockwise is still reasonable.
So I guess when you get tethered to them, it's not necessarily a proximity thing, right? Like I can be at 2 and get tethered to 1 down at like C or something, right?
Yes, you can get tethered to one that's not on your side.
Okay, so you just have to find whichever one you're tethered to and then get it away from going through the middle. So the people that don't have chains probably want to start in the middle, right? Until they see where they're tethered.
Doesn't
More or
apply
less.
everything at the same time.
Well,
Yeah.
I didn't know. Do the tethers come out immediately? Because I saw
They
that. it
took
had the
about a
markers on
second.
the chain. And so
Yeah,
I
they
just,
take about a second after the chains come out for it to pick which one you got. Because
Right.
the orbs spawn at the same time as the chains, but the tethers from the orbs don't spawn until after that.
right. So when the chain people are going to their spots, the people that notice they don't have chains probably want to stay near the middle.
So people with the orbs are going which way?
Clockwise.
Cutting them clockwise, yeah.
Okay.
Also, just to clarify something, if healers are dropping at 4, does that mean we're now taking the C and D tornadoes? Because I'm not sure there's enough time to slow walk from 4 over to B side. And similarly for the tanks.
This is for the towers only.
Yeah, no, I mean,
There's
for
just
the
slow,
earlier phase, I think that healers are
For the earlier phase, we can still be on 3.
In front. 2 side. I moved too early. Get like a couple more DCs.
At least one.
North south. Yeah, as soon as you see that, like, then you know that you can start running as the
Get
kite.
behind. Boy. Crap. Please be safe. Yes.
Oh, I can't even rest.
Damn, got caught peeking.
Holy cow. Oh, there's an orb. Oh, jeez.
Oh, hello.
Oh, that's where the cones are coming from.
Yikes.
Where are the cones
Our
coming?
tethers, I think.
He's firing them at the people with tethers.
Yeah.
I knew I saw
With
cones.
tethers to each other or with tethers to an orb?
To each other.
Did you see how many
So-
cones came out?
4.
4 cones.
Or I think.
They went straight through the towers.
Also, it seems. Sorry. Let me ask. Is there any way to, It looked to me like I had a thing that looked like 2 chains, but it was a single icon. That means that I get a tower, right?
There are 2 different buffs. The chains are chains. You should, if you have chains, you should have 2 of them.
2 icons.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you have 1 debuff, which looks kind of like every debuff in this game, I guess, that means that you're going to have a tower. You have no idea which tower you're going to get ahead of time, it seems. Like, I was kind of like hanging out down in this like area, and I got tethered to the one at A. So it looks like you can't predict that. You just have to wait until you have you just have to wait until you can see which tower you're tethered to.
If you mean the balls,
Tower
I'm
or the-
assuming
or the
that
balls?
it's like A11 and supremely awkward.
Yeah, it seems like the balls that you're tethered to are random, unless there's a way to bait it that I am not aware of.
The balls
way.
are random. The chains you can see right away. From
I did not see chains right away on people. I was looking to see who people were chained to. Did not show up until long after the debuff icon had already started to indicate that people had chains.
They look like little light, yellow light lines. They're not like chain.
Well, one of them is like a halo circle thing that has texture, but the other, like the chains, they really look like chains.
I mean, the debuffs look like chains, but the actual graphic on the screen is more like a
Were
gray
the
light tether thing.
were the cones coming from her or from the tether?
From her.
Okay, so the
No,
people.
they originated from her and went through the people with the tethers.
Okay, so the people see that little diamond pattern in the middle there? If the people with their tethers are on the tips of those, it'll shoot the cones between all the towers.
So the people kiting the balls get the cones, right?
No,
Okay.
Oh, who gets the cones?
people with the tethers. With
I thought the
sorry,
tethers.
Okay.
there are
the
just two
chain.
tethers. I should not say that.
Yeah, I'm like, I thought the tethers were the balls.
Chains or
Chains.
towers, tethers or balls.
Can
Yes.
I
People with the chains.
can I engage
Okay.
in wild speculation here?
Oh, we love that.
Sure.
How about what if the people with the tethers are supposed to be between the towers? The people with the balls take the towers while they're dragging their ball around and then eat them later. Since if it's anything like normal mode, getting a cone and the tower will murder you horribly.
For simplicity's sake, I think we should have the balls going somewhere where, like, people aren't going to be moving into them, because we want to reduce movement as much as possible so that people won't accidentally run into them.
Yeah, the question I had, which I didn't actually get a good look at, was whether anything in there inflicts a vulnerability of any kind. Since again, in normal mode, the towers don't really do anything, but the cones inflicted a debuff.
I'm sure if somebody gets hit by a cone who doesn't need to, it's probably bad.
The path of light is the cone, yeah?
Yes. Path of
Okay.
Light, 67,489. It
So it's
also
an actual
triggers Light
cast.
Steep.
So if it's a cast, the people that know they're going to get hit by it should be able to control where they're going ahead of time, right? It's not like it comes out random.
Oh, wait. What is Bright Hunger? Oh, it's probably just the dot.
Yeah, I only took 5,000 from that. I can't be too serious.
Took 20.
I mean, either way, it looks like there needs to be healing in the middle of that phase.
Yes. But yeah, the cones just go out, and it's fine, it seems like.
Yeah.
I mean, we may have just had an accidental clusterfuck. It might be that you take the cone, heal up, and then hit the tower. I don't know.
Oh, someone got a damage down debuff from something. Check.
So, can I point something else out? So the people who got the tethers, if we're going to collapse from from 4 towers into 2, and we need to not get too close to each other, we need to make sure that we have we don't have a square formation with the tether, I keep saying tethers, it's hard to break that habit, but the chains. The people with the chains in the middle need to not have a square. We need to have an hourglass. So,
ignoring what else might be happening, that's actually not a problem, because the towers should be opposite each other, assuming the pattern holds.
no,
So if
but it
you're
does
square,
matter.
you just point it so that opposite corners are in them and the 2 other people off on the
No.
sides.
No, it doesn't matter, because if you have a square and then they go from 1, 2, 3, 4 to AC, and 1, 2 collapse together, then 1 and 2 will be too close together, it will break their chain and everybody dies.
Why would 1 and 2 collapse? Why not just rotate at 45 degrees?
Because there's only 2 towers.
And
second
why
time.
does everyone need to get hit by a tower?
We need 2 people in both of the towers.
Do you, though?
Yes, and in the second set of towers, you need 2 people in each of them.
I did not hear that part.
And in the last tower, we need 4 people in it.
So there will always be 4 people involved in towers. Just the number of towers will go down.
Oh, I believe what happens is that the towers increase your stacks.
Oh yeah.
So you cannot take the orbs with the towers then.
You'll probably get too many stacks.
Do the circles always spawn, the towers, I should say, do they always spawn in the same spots?
Yeah,
Yes.
4 inner cardinals. First,
we're
and
saying
then
are
2 or north and south.
Absolutely on the middle of those markers as they
Okay.
are right now.
And we're saying that the cones are getting shot towards those people in those
Yep.
towers.
It's extremely predictable.
Then cardinal positions should always be safe for the people kiting, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I'm no geometrist or anything like that, but it looks like if you get the tether at A, you can pretty much just stand at B. And
Yes.
the orb should
Yes.
just miss the tower.
Should miss the
Like-
tower, and then maybe that would be enough time for it to have shrunk by that.
It depends because like if you get the one at A and I'm like down here, I have to run all the way over to B and it's probably already moving. So by the time I get over here, it's probably passing through 2.
Oh,
Well, that's
Tell
why I
people
said
the
we should be
tethers not
starting
be
in
back.
the middle, right? With the tethers.
yes.
The
At
people
least
that realize they don't have chains should be in the middle, waiting to see where their tether is, and then just going to the next clockwise position from there. I guess.
At the very least, in that middle ring somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
You should all be in
You
the
know
ring
pretty
somewhere in-
early. When you see
You
your
should all be
marker,
in the-
you have time.
Yeah, you should all be in the middle ring somewhere anyway, because the cast itself does damage, so you want to be in range of heal.
Yeah, also the ball that passed right by me, like went over here, was like, oh, but like we can just stand in like the closer edge of the circle.
So do we just want to run to the orb that is clockwise to the one that we currently are tethered to so that it moves that direction?
Yes.
If that turns out to not be good enough, we may have to make a stop in the inner cardinal. So it would be like a 2-point run, but we'll see.
So we still have the 1 and 2 towers, or the 4 and 2 towers. So I didn't get to finish my point. So we need to not make a square. So we need to make sure that it is 1 and 4 are tethered, 2 and 3 are tethered, but 2 is tethered to 4 and 1 is tethered to 3. So it needs to be like an hourglass.
Wait, you're saying that you want it to be an hourglass?
Yes. Because here's my guess as to what needs to happen. If it's going to go 4, 2, 1, the people who have the chains are going to take the 4 towers and the 2 tethers, while the people with the debuffs are taking the balls. I don't know if there's going to be a second set of balls. There might be. But if there's not, they might be the people who have to collapse onto the 1 tower.
Our chains run out 3 seconds after we take the first tower, or 4 seconds after we take the first tower.
We don't know if a second set of chains goes out or not, though.
Yep.
We haven't got to the next tower set. I'm willing to bet another set of chains goes
we got
out.
we got really close to it going off, didn't we?
I mean, at this point, speculation, I'm not sure, is useful. You'll need to either ask closer to see it.
So if the tank is at 1, healer's at 4, and the tank is tethered to a DPS, and the healer is tethered to a DPS.
And the DPS is tethered to a DPS.
I mean, it should be easy. It just means 2 and 3 might need to swap.
I mean, that's going to be the case whether it's a square or an hourglass.
Yes.
And
All other things being equal, we should do the hourglass.
I still don't know what the benefit of the hourglass is.
Because when the north and south towers appear, 1 and 2 will want to collapse together, and 4 and 3 will need to want to collapse together. And if you are a square, they'll get too close and it will die. You said they run out 3 seconds after, but I don't know what happens there. Like I said, all other things being equal, this is better.
Behind. Going towards 3 or 4, I mean.
Tippy toes.
I'm upset.
Trying to find the edge.
Black mage things you wouldn't understand.
Oh, better now than later, right?
East west.
That's moving too soon. You gotta wait until the explosion happens.
Oh, you pointed the other way. You almost trapped me.
That was so nice of you.
I appreciate that he's doing that, since if he's not moving it in,
It's really hard to get up there.
we have
yeah.
to slow walk.
I was like, oh, I'm actually screwed. Oh, no way, no way.
No, I pressed back.
Get in.
Oh, nice. We're probably okay? Hopefully? No? Oh.
Yeah.
Take privilege. Feels good.
Okay, I see that. Well, we're gonna try a square because I don't think placeholder's moving.
The balls. Oh god, the ball.
Ah, why is there a
Oh,
ball
that's
in
a
the
chain
middle?
reaction.
So we can't go directly to our letter.
The ball was not the problem. The problem was the chains broke.
Yeah,
Oh.
I
Well,
the
moved,
ball
and
will
it
be,
seems
won't
there's
it?
no reason to move.
I
There cannot be moving there.
had to move in or get hit by a ball.
So can we? Let me open up the stream real quick.
No, I think we
Well,
can just go to
that's
the inner cardinal edge and then move to our
Um,
cardinal edge.
Well,
Like I was where
the tether that shows you which ball you're tethered to doesn't show up until after the balls spawn, which is after the towers appear. So if you stay in the middle, let me get a helpful little drone. If you start in the middle, and then you find out what tower you're going to, like if Ifrit is tethered to A, then first thing you do is you run out to about there, and then after you hit that, then you just start walking to B, and you should avoid the cones. But I think that like you can see faintly there's this like line cutting these things in half. I think the cones are that wide. So if people are standing right on the thing, like this is safe, but that is dead. Now, of course, that assumes that the people are exactly in the middle of the thing, so you don't want to be like that close. But yeah, if we want to kite to make sure that the towers aren't getting encroached upon with the balls, then we need to have them go out there first, and then walk along the edge of the arena to the next marker, clockwise.
I mean, we can also probably walk through the tower, as long as we're not in it when it blows up.
I mean, you can start out in the middle of the arena, and then you walk through the tower to the edge of the arena, but the important thing is you can't kite the ball through the middle of the tower.
Yeah, and then
When you get a chain, how many stacks do you have?
Stacks?
It looked like one.
One.
It depends.
Well, you can see in the screenshot, everyone who had a chain had one stack. Everyone who did not have a chain had 2 stacks. Maybe not everyone.
Yeah, it's like not everybody. It's either 0, 1, 0, or 1. You don't have multiple.
The only time I've ever seen anyone with 2 stacks, it was someone who had a ball.
Chain people will have either 0 or 1.
When are we deciding when to move after the towers? Are we waiting until the next set spawn, or are we pre-positioning at all?
Ball people or chain people?
Chained people in their towers. So after the first set of towers resolve, are we waiting until the next set appear to move, or are we going to move into positions ahead of time?
Also, how are we going to deal with the next cone?
How about we not also? Let's at least answer the first question first, which is, I don't like the ball was like 10 feet off the ground when we died. We don't have eternity to wait. If we're gonna have to talk about adjusting things later, we either have to know what it's gonna be now, or we have to guess. Or we have to wait outside in our normal positions until it runs out and hope that we can then run in to take. Those are the 3 options. I've said what I think we should do. You guys can vote.
Oh. So there's 2 people with chain with 0 light thingies, and 2
Yes.
people with no chains that have only 1 light thingy. What if they're the ones that take the second towers?
Okay, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, I can't see because this screenshot got cropped so that I can't see who got what, but it looks like, what is it? A healer and a DPS were the ones that had, no.
I took it, so yeah, I'm at top. Tank. Tank, healer.
Okay, so yeah, so it looks like a healer and a DPS had 0 stacks with the chains, so they need to take towers twice, and then because each tower gives you a stack. Is that what's going on?
I believe so.
And taking a ball gives you a stack?
I think so.
Shit's hard, man. I don't know. I haven't even seen all of the mechanics. I don't know why we're hypothesizing about mechanics that haven't even shown up yet. So I think we just need to get some more legwork in.
It doesn't change. No, that doesn't change the fact that we have not decided on anything to actually do.
I mean, we haven't even successfully executed the thing that we said that we were going to do, which is kite the balls and not kite them through the towers.
That's not what killed us.
Yeah, it is.
No,
I
it's
mean,
not. I
people-
killed everybody.
The chain.
I killed
broke
everybody.
because we had to move to avoid the ball.
No,
I know, since I was the one running straight through number 4.
okay. I thought I was the one who broke the chain.
No, it was me. I walked in to avoid the ball. That's why I was saying, oh, the ball.
Kara, were you and I supposed to switch positions there when we saw our chains?
Yes,
I
according to what I said earlier, anyway. And also, if you broke your chain, then I definitely broke my chain, for the record. So we both killed everybody.
Okay, so if we're gonna make a square, or I'm trying to, how do I know when I need to switch with Kara?
And how do you even switch? If you switch, don't you get too close?
Well, you probably have a second to adjust when you see who has the chains. Like, they don't do that shit instantaneously. Or maybe
Otherwise
they do.
we just
Maybe
wipe.
it's just get fucked, right? You know? There could be a way to position so that you can never have the chains
It's never been
immediately explode,
instantaneous.
but yeah, I think you have a second to get onto your correct spacing, and then you have to maintain spacing. The only reason why I would imagine that a square is correct is that the diagonal is longer than the edge of a square, and that makes the amount of error in your movement much smaller. Whereas a square, you have equal amount of sort of wiggle room in all
Yes.
directions.
Wouldn't we have time between the first set of towers and the second set to reposition ourselves? Does it matter what our position is for the first?
You can't cross. At that point, the chains are established, and if you get too close, they'll break and everybody dies.
Right, but that set of chains was getting ready to wear off, right? Before the next set of towers
don't
even
know that
appeared.
Oh my god.
See, I don't know anything about the second set of towers because we haven't gotten there, so I don't want to hypothesize about what it's going to look like.
Here's what we do know, and I'll say this again: we died like 3 to 5 seconds before the second towers were going to go off. We didn't have much time to adjust after the fact. So no, we don't know for certain. But going with the current strategy, we know is a failure if the people at 1 and 2 need to collapse. So, I mean, we can just get there and just die immediately, or we can have a backup plan that might work. Can we just fucking try it?
Let's get some pulls in.
Wow. That hurt.
Oh. I know the issue. Wings didn't activate.
Why are
One.
you trying to res?
I mean, whether you get up or not determines whether I jump.
I'll get up after it's safe to do so, but it's not going to be safe for a while. Oh, I hope it goes.
East-west.
You need to assume yourself if you get that.
Asuna, there's nothing. Cannot be removed with Asuna.
Huh? No, the ice debuff.
The freezing.
Yeah, the one that goes on one tank and one hit. I've been trying to get both, but sometimes it's difficult.
Front. One.
North south. Wait, now.
You're behind her.
You have a sewer volume?
Oof. I guess I need more than that. Okay. I pop Nebula, but
It gives you a
Yeah.
ball.
afterwards, but no, the actual hit just killed me.
Crap. I'm gonna take extra damage.
Oh, got it. Oh wait, no, you're shooting it.
The range on that's real long.
It looks like it's the same as normal, which is fairly big.
Why not gonna have any? Oh, you don't have any. I don't know what's gonna happen.
I got a ball is what happened.
Oh, whoop. What?
Okay, so fortunately, it looks like you can get hit by the cone. Not a
Yeah.
huge problem.
Seems like it gives you a stack. Does it? Maybe not.
I didn't see a stack. I was looking for a volume. I didn't see that.
Nah, I mean, yellow stack.
Don't know about the stack.
Alright, so that time the people that had no stacks were.
No, that's it. I also don't know what actually happened in the center since I was trying to count pie slices around the arena.
So, me, Tam, Tyree, and Midori were tethered. We got in positions. And since Midori and Tam didn't have this first, doesn't have a stack. Let's see if these towers give stacks. Ooh, the tower and the chain AoE thinking both give stacks. 1 to 3 stacks. So yeah, you don't want to get hit by
The cone, right?
the cone. You don't want to get hit by the cone if you don't need to get hit by the cone.
Man, I tend to try to avoid mechanics.
And let's see, I think what happened. I'm not actually sure what killed us.
Pretty sure it was a chain again.
Ah. Seems like, yeah. Okay. Do you want to try the thing where the people that have the fewest stacks get towers too?
I think it's probably going to have to be that way. Also, here's a follow-up question, which is, are the cones proximity-based, or is it? I considering everything after this, I have to guess that they're proximity-based.
Yes, they are.
So we can control who's getting, or who are creating cones, and which way they're pointing. Now they're going to be pointing towards the towers because the people in the towers are going to be the closest people, because the people with the orbs are running them out.
Unless you want the balls to go straight through the center of the arena, yes. Which, if the people on the towers are actually on those numeric markers, sending the ball straight through the center might actually be a possibility.
So that's a thought. If we were all in the middle, when you see your tether, just run away from it. As long as the balls don't blow up when they hit each other, they'd all cross through the middle, right?
Oh.
That's a big if, but yes.
And
Don't you also have to then dodge the ball on the opposite side
Yeah.
you just juke it.
and hope
Yeah,
that
but that
your
should be
ball does not
relatively easy.
suddenly shift into a...
I mean, the balls move pretty slowly.
They turn very quickly, though. I've noticed when you're kiting it, like it turns on a dime. So if you were going around one, you'd want to go quick, like.
Keeping in the theme of clocks, if you run straight opposite yours and offset a little bit, this should miss it. It might get squeaky. If I'm tethered to A, it might get squeaky at 4, but I don't know how much so.
Well, they're also supposed to shrink as they go, right? It's possible by the time it gets to the middle area, it won't really be an issue.
Their hitboxes don't change, I'm sure.
Oh, okay.
That they never change. It just visually changes size.
Alright, so do we want to try running them directly across? I think that might be better for dodging the cones.
Let's do it for science. Presumably,
Alright.
we'd all be safe from the cones if we did that, right?
Yeah,
We
let's
should be
try it.
shooting your cardinal.
So are the people with the orbs getting the cones, or are the people in the tower still getting the cones?
People in the tower are getting the cones. People with the orbs, we all start in the middle and you run to the tower opposite of your ball.
Okay.
So for the sake of predictability, we should all dodge to the same side of the orb we're approaching.
Let's see here. That would be to the right.
Okay.
So if C is the orb, and we're
You
all
wanna
running
run-
toward, we are going that way, like that.
Well,
Meow.
Caesar
Okay.
wants to go towards 2.
and
A
so
little bit.
the towers are at Party and Eos for second set, right? I guess we'll get there. We'll see what happens.
Well, yes, if we all do the same basic movement as we approach that other orb, it'll line up fine.
Yeah, the other.
So if we
the
all
other-
if we all hook right and around it,
Yeah, the other advantage of doing that is if the balls are only a little bit of a problem, instead of taking the towers right on the marker, you can take them on the edge offset.
Yeah, and that means that the people who are taking the balls will have the fewest stacks, so they'll be in charge of doing towers later.
I mean, that's a possibility.
We'll see. Science. You love science.
I love this idea. I hope it works, but I don't think it will.
Well,
The only reason I'm mentioning it is because I hate right.
the other thing is there are only 2 second towers, so the people at B and D taking their orbs are going to be a little confused. But hopefully they can just go clockwise and see what happens. Whew, 3K.
Missed the apple.
Just building limit break. It's a thing, right?
There's a thing in Kefka.
In front. 2 side. North south. Get behind. It's off center.
Yeah. Took aggro.
Yeah, Granada. He's on gang. Or super.
Oh, did you?
I'll get.
That went about as poorly as it could go.
Don't look. Oh, don't look. Don't look.
Don't look away.
In. Alright.
Oh, I'm
Whoa!
Okay.
There's an orb there.
Should I even ask what happened?
There's an orb there.
Just walked right into the orb
Yep.
that we knew was gonna spawn.
Yep.
I don't suppose any of the orbs made it
No.
into
No.
each other, did
No.
they?
Did they even start moving?
Science
It
continues.
did.
Very slightly, yes.
I think I died right here.
That's odd because that was the orb that I was walking towards.
Or not like right here, but right here in my orb.
Relative to your orb.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, you need to be on the
I
right
need to be right here,
side.
not right here.
You do have time to cross over to make an hourglass, by the way. Me and Midori did that pull pretty safely.
Behind. Four side. North south.
Why am I dead?
I don't know.
Oh, don't be behind her.
Sorry. I got Garrett. Well, I can slow Garrett. Is someone dying?
Oh,
Everyone's dying.
oh no. Wait, what?
Answer.
I don't feel like
Oh, don't look.
Get out.
That's so big.
It's pretty big.
How come they're like faster?
Huh, so I have no chain and no debuff, and
Tiny's
Okay.
like, what?
I have chains and orbs. What the heck?
alright.
What is going on?
If you don't have 8 people at the start of that, it's a wipe.
Oh, it's not good.
It's not a wipe, immediately. It just forces you to wipe because you have to make a choice between 2 impossible things.
Well, I'm glad you saw that because I was looking and then it was quite blinding.
No, I watched the orbs crisscross in the middle. They went just fine. And then I'm like, why is the tether getting longer? Who is going all the way out there? And it's like, Midori's trying to kite an orb. I'm like, whoa.
Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing right now. Too many mechanics.
do I break the chain or do I take my orb?
Also, this may or may not be an issue. It's really hard to see which one you're tethered to with all the shit that's going on in the middle when those tethers. Is anyone else having a problem with that?
I mean, I'm having issues with the fact that everything is varying to white or yellowish white.
Yeah, everything's very bright and
It's
bright.
tough.
But not like Kefka where I could still see stuff. Like, this is very bright and everything looks the same.
Oh, if I could figure out a better way. It's hard to visually see which one you're tethered to when everything's going on. Hopefully it's not a fact or not an issue, but we'll see.
Turn off your graphics.
I'm not turning off my explosions. I play a different class, but I want to see explosions. Come on.
I turned off your explosions.
We're not
I've already
friends.
turned off all of your effects. It's just
Literally not even friends.
Well, this is just a sucker, not a critical. Yeah, we're fine.
Yeah, I remember to addle. We're fine.
You hold your life in your own hands.
Don't worry, placeholder. I turned off
That's
everybody's
the worst
explosions.
place to have it.
behind.
Back.
4 side. Or no, 3 side.
I don't trust you. But I like how perfectly they go to the waymarks. Like, you can do some real minimalist dodging there.
East west.
That's unfortunate.
that's a problem. That's a problem.
If we stay on the left edge here, we might be okay, yeah.
Yeah.
No?
So I'm pre-positioning it for. I don't like having to be the one who has to move on the flex spot.
Yeah, it's
I
no
have to
fun.
walk all
But
the way. I have to walk all the way from 4 to 2.
I mean, I gotta do the opposite. But I get what you're saying.
No, that's what I was saying. The people on the very extreme
Boy,
kind of get screwed over.
get out.
I mean, you could. I know you put Tyleek there for positional things, but if he is the one who floats, because he can attack as he's walking through the middle still, where you have to like kind of stutter step as you go, so it might be easier for him to be the floater.
I have nothing.
No, we're supposed to switch.
You have. Tethers,
Yeah,
don't you?
well,
No, I have nothing. Literally nothing.
Okay. Yeah.
I think those are counted as debuffs. I think I resimmuned them.
Kanata, were you and I supposed to switch positions there?
Everything was bad.
I think it was kind of screwed, so
Okay.
like tanks and healers should never deviate from 1-4.
Well
So,
then,
yeah, if those are actually debuffs supplied by Light Rampant, then res immunity is a problem.
yeah, that makes sense actually. So are you gonna switch with Tylee with that for that position?
Tylee, would you be the floater or?
I'll try it, I guess.
Alternatively, if you wanted to get further out on 4 ahead of time, then I can be in the middle. I was just trying to stand in a way that our circles wouldn't overlap so I could see when it's on me or not, but I can just pre-plant at 4 if you're going to float, and then you should be able to identify if we both have it or not. All right, well, let's try one with Tylee floating then.
I'm going to try to shirk you at some fairly early time in the fight, Tam, just to make sure that I don't accidentally pull aggro.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Whoa!
At least it wasn't as bad as that.
I got there.
This platform's an OSHA violation.
Wait, don't do anything to it. There's no way I was casting on you.
This
Oh,
was
I'll send it out.
Kanata, no!
What?
You're dragging bottles.
Oh, I am?
don't be on the edge.
What?
Because Carrot wasn't
Carrot
very
was-
smart.
Oh, I don't know that. I had the. Oh.
Wow, nice raid awareness.
I'm gonna slow res carrot or placeholder. I mean,
I should have just manipped. That's my bad.
Oh, look.
Look away. She's besides. Get out.
Am I far enough? I don't know. Probably not.
Maybe. Let's find out. Jameer.
Right on the edge. Spicy.
We were supposed to swap there.
We were. We did not.
Well,
Probably
we're
not.
going to live it now.
victory.
Yes,
kind
I
of,
can't.
except for what were those 4 explosions?
I got too close to Tam.
If we're taking the towers, like, we can't get that close.
So yeah, so we do not have time before the chains break. So the people with the lower number should probably go into the tower. People with the not lower number should get out of the tower.
Have the balls been resolved at that point yet?
No.
At that
No.
point, they were exactly in the center,
Hmm.
which is why I cried victory.
That's not quite victory.
He was victorious in the one aspect that I was paying attention to.
Okay.
Okay, so it is not simply sufficient to have a crisscross. We need to make sure that the crisscross is there's no tether between 4 and 3 or 2 and 1.
That was a square, so
Right.
No, he's talking about the tethers to the balls.
No, I'm talking about the tethers to each other.
We call those
You mean
chain
that
chains?
time it was a square?
yeah, that time, it was a
that time
square.
was a square.
So they didn't
No,
do the
Kara and I
crisscrossing.
did not switch positions, but we didn't die to the chains.
But,
We did.
Wait,
though.
yeah, we did.
Absolutely died to the chains. That was what killed us.
Reflected biting frost. I
Like,
don't think is when chains are incorrect.
so if I can point out two things about this. One, it can work where the people have a square and they rotate, and the people take the north and south are the people with the lows and hot with the low numbers of lights, and the people who have A and C balls take it too. But that's by chance. The people with B and D balls could be the people who happen to get the low, or who happen to start with only one.
Well-
Shoot, what is it called?
The
Light
way that we're
source?
doing it right now, we have the people who are in the towers are each getting 2 stacks. You're going to
Yes.
get one from the cone and one from the thing, which means that the people who have the balls will always not
We'll have no stacks yet.
have.
Or
We'll have one
no
one
extra
of 0 stacks. They will have gotten no extra stacks. Right. So like, we could do a thing hypothetically where I think this is what you were describing. We start out like, let's suppose I'm on. No, I suppose let's use you. The tanks and the healers start, or sorry, we start in whatever, we have our rotation, and then after the first tower we all move a quarter, and then it's the person who is kiting the ball from A is now in the south tower, and the person who is at 1 is now in the north tower, and the person who is at 3 is now in the south tower with the person who is cutting across. And then the people who, for the last tower, I don't even know what else is going on at the same time as the last tower. I have the balls resolved at that point?
Nope.
And where does the last tower spawn geographically?
Right in the center.
Right in the center.
Yeah, at that point, if the balls are traveling to the center, they'll be
Past that.
headed out towards the edges.
maybe that's
For the
when
center
we're
line.
supposed to take them. That'd be really convenient, because then you would just stand there in the tower.
I have made guesses, and everyone shot me down for even attempting to guess. So, I guess I won't.
I have a suggestion, but I'm not sure I want to make it during the countdown, so I'll do it afterwards.
I think I also have a suggestion. And it might be the same suggestion. Now that we're not in the countdown, do we want to try to have the people who have the tethers take the cones?
At some point, yes.
I don't mean at some point. I mean like the first. Because if the people who have the chains are resolving the tower mechanics, you can't take 2 towers and 2 cones twice back.
Behind.
And then
Yeah,
we're going to 3.
that's actually what I was going to say. Instead of running way out, have the people with the balls take the first cone.
And
I have a reason why I don't think this will work, and I'll explain it after this ball. It's going to be a logistical nightmare.
Let's resume our previous strategy.
What's up?
What?
Well, that's convenient.
Tam's doing it on purpose when he remembers.
I'm trying to. Get in.
I should not be using the Bahamut at that point.
I'm gonna see if this hits.
I ran into a ball. That hitbox is deceptive when trying to juke around it.
Which hitbox? What?
Well, that actually leads me to why if we're trying to bait the first cone, I think the balls are just going to get caught up to it. Or the one that we're trying to bait, we'd have to get off to the side to let that one pass, like the one that would be coming towards you at that point. And if you go off to the side, then the orb behind you is going to come at a cocked angle while you wait for the cone to resolve. And it's going to smack into a tower, probably.
Let's take our break now.
At the same time, if the balls are running in a circle around the edge, I don't think they can bait the cones either, because you go against steer them into a tower if you try to pop in for just a bit.
So there are only there's one thing that we can say for sure, which is if the people who are taking the towers take 2 towers and also take 2 cones, that's a wipe. Because you could start with 1 stack, and then that's 4 more stacks, and at 5 stacks you explode. And then the people that you're chained to explode. And then everyone's dead. So whatever solution we come up with does not or cannot have the people who are in the tower, who are taking the first tower also take the second tower and both cones. Which means that either the people with the balls have to take a cone, or the people with the balls have to take a tower.
I think they have to take towers.
So if the people, maybe after they resolve their ball mechanic, they come in for the last tower, that'd be 4 people. So the ones that had the 4 balls get the last.
We're not even getting to the last tower at this point. We're dying on the second tower
Because we're trying so hard to avoid we're trying so hard to avoid that possibility that we're coming up with weird shit.
How many cones does she shoot off in the course of that?
We've only seen 1.
So 1 set of towers, we're 2 sets of towers and 1 cone is what we know what's going to happen at least right now, right? So that's 3 stacks, and everyone starts with 1.
No, some people start with 0, some people start with 1, some people start with 2.
But all of the chain people start with 0 or 1. All of the ball people start with 1 or 2.
Yes.
Right, and that's
Which
at
means
the end of the tower mechanic, the people with the chains will have 1 or 2. Or 2 or 3. Currently.
So
Yes.
that should mean that there shouldn't be a way for the people that start with the chains to take all of the sets of towers, right? At some point, the ball people have to take tower, or at least one set of
Yes.
towers.
Yes. Towers or cones.
yes, towers or cones. The point is they could theoretically take both of the first towers and the first cones and be fine. Guaranteed. Now, we don't know if there's more cones or anything else, right? But
Yeah, or when the second cones happen.
So in normal, she shoots like 3 sets of cones in between like each set of towers. It would probably be safe to assume there's going to be more cones, and we should account for that.
I don't
I'm
know.
not sure that is a safe assumption.
Without watching
But-
a video or reading a strat, we just have to get there.
I mean, the reason I've not been trying to do as much is because I want to know at what point it's safe to eat the orbs, and don't think we've gotten there.
yeah, the problem is like an hour ago I proposed a possibility that would let us see more of the fight, and we haven't even tried.
We've been doing it. We've been doing the
Yeah.
crisscross. We've been failing it, but
Yeah, we're actively trying to. Do
Okay, I guess that's true. Now that we've tried to cross the balls through the middle, we have made it more complicated, which has caused us to fail a few times.
Which, by the way, we can have a failsafe, Carrot. If we forget to do the swap on the first one and realize that we did, we can swap for the second one. Just run to the opposite tower for the second. And that should be functionally the same.
But you can't
Do you-
cross.
Yeah,
you
that'll
can't
be
touch each other.
close.
Once the chains go active, it's too late.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
You'd have to do some weird thing where you're like running around each other.
Yeah, where one goes in, one goes out.
What I've been trying to internalize for that is assuming that the tank and healer are pre-positioned, which they should be, because they don't have to adjust. Maybe they should be the ones adjusting. That's a different theory. But assuming that the tanks and healers are always in the same position, making sure that you see where you are and whether or not you're tethered to the person, to the tank. That's the thing. It's like if you're tethered to the tank, you go opposite. You go diagonal. That's the only way that I can figure it out. It's just
Yeah, it's just gonna have to become a muscle memory thing. It's not super hard to do, but there's so much other shit going on in that phase that it's easy for me to forget that I need to crisscross that thing.
I think the problem
On
is we need to be careful about moving too many parts at the same time.
Well, there's like 20 moving parts during that phase. It's gonna be hard to keep that
No,
down.
I mean, sorry, I meant moving parts within our strategy.
I see. Yeah. As a aside to that, as much as I love this strategy of moving the ball to the middle, it can't possibly be correct, right? There's no way that'd be the strategy.
I don't know the main reason I personally kind of like it without knowing whether or not it actually works is because I get the impression that if you're running around the edge, you kind of have to assume you'll get hit by at least one random cone.
Yeah, that's fair. It just seems like everything.
Running around the edge is also a lot of movement, like actually a lot of movement for everybody. Even like
especially a black mage.
The timing.
especially a melee.
Yeah,
let me
that's
put it
true
this
too,
way.
isn't it?
The
Do we not
timing
remember
is super
Kefka?
tight.
Because they made us run all the way around the edge.
Let's be honest. If I have a ball there, the moment I have to start running with it. I'm not hitting her anyway.
Yeah.
And if I'm in the middle, doing a tower, which has yet to be the case, except when like someone, the, I mean, I can't necessarily get close enough to continue attacking without messing up the chain.
I think, well, I mean, setting aside the orb thing, like, you can definitely be in the tower and also be in melee range.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but what if I'm also the closest to a tank who is also getting in melee range?
Well, if you're tethered to the tank, then you should be diagonal from them. So you should be far enough away.
Kelly, did you say you've never gotten the chain?
When someone, unless someone's dead, yeah.
What are the odds of that?
Well, we haven't seen it that many times to make it statistically significant, but
All we have to say is, you know, chalk it up to random chance and
but wouldn't it be hilarious?
It's looking unlikely, though.
If it preferred melee for the balls.
The ones that have to run a bunch, yeah.
I mean, the other option is it's assigning it by proxy, which is hilarious in its own right.
Maybe.
watch. No, it's assigned like Omega.
Yeah, I mean, is there a way to bait these orbs?
It's assigned when you enter.
Oh, it's like seeded? Yeah, and you can't... Yeah.
Yeah, remember they said that they had intended to have it be based on roll and they fucked it up and they just left it.
Yeah, they brought that shit up during FanFest. So I
And
asked
it,
about
and it was seeded when you entered the instance for the night, what your order was, and it would always be that order on every attempt until you reset the instance.
Yup, that was fun.
Omega 11? Yeah, I
the
remember that was
circle
an issue
dude.
for 11.
So this is probably not something anyone's even taken notice to yet, but I'll ask it anyway, not expecting an answer, mind you. Has anyone noticed any sort of way to control which orb you get tethered to? Like if it's the
So,
one for
I don't think you...
It's not. Like, I've been tethered to the one I'm closest to, I've been tethered to the one I'm farthest from, I've been tethered to one that's 90 degrees of...
But it could be relative to the party. That's the problem.
No, Tylede has... He has just invalidated my observation. I was going to observe that I have never gotten tethered to one that I was less than half an arena away from. Essentially,
The last one, where we actually got all 4 balls in the middle, and you were super thrilled by that, I was standing between 1 and 4 on the D side, obviously, and I got the D orb. So yeah.
That was the only speculation that I was going to make, and you shot that down. So
way to
if it's
crush your
here
dreams,
around,
gosh.
Just throw them on the ground.
Also,
That
as a
was
word of caution,
More
sorry,
than 10-minute break.
when you are doing your juke to the right to dodge your orb, take a pretty big juke. The hitbox is deceptively big. I ran right into the edge.
It's one of those
So-
stupid where it's pushing it forward right from where it visually looks.
Hmm.
It's using the sort of predictive forecast of where it is and where you are based off of where the server thinks is going on.
But it's tricky, right? Because you don't want to overcompensate for that effect, because then you run the risk of running it into a tower behind. So you kind of got to thread the needle a little bit.
Yeah, but it's like it's one of those things. You can like run sideways into somebody else's ball and it like won't go off because the server is so like predictive about where it pushes the hitbox based off of its visual. Don't test that, but
One second.
Bet.
1 second. I'm getting a drink.
there was many times where I'd be running into somebody else's ball, and I'd literally run sideways into it, and it just wouldn't go off. Midori, many mechanics of this in this game are based off of the principle of the closer I am to danger, the farther I am from harm.
Well, what if couldn't? Well, never mind.
Alright, I'm ready.
What if I fuck up? Don't fuck up.
Well, no, I was gonna say. So, what happens? Like, if we had to bait the first cones, if we had the balls,
Do that.
like, I think that by the time the first tower is like coming down, by the time you have to juke the ball, you'd be in the tower. But what if we just took the first tower and the first cone, and then everybody, the people with the tethers, took the rest?
That is another possibility.
Galaxy brain.
It's a total change, but it is a possibility.
What's the sequencing of how? When does the cone actually come out, and where are the balls at that point? Is what's relevant. If the balls are damn near the middle when that goes off, then we'd have a hard time with that, right? But if they're still closer to the outside, then
Well, the orbs are
balls-
about reaching the center
here.
circle when the
Yeah.
first towers are going off,
Yeah, the balls hit the center when the towers do.
So
and it would be pretty hard to dodge if the people with the orbs are trying to take the cone.
So what you could do, is have the people do the hourglass, but have them stand like right here relative to their spot, and the people take their orbs and they go and they stand running as if they're running away from their orb, and they stand in the square, the marker to the right, opposite their orb. So if I had D, I'd be standing in 3, and then as soon as if you're standing on the outside of the tower, on the intercardinal, it should come sailing across, and then you can come here, and then go around. The other people can get out of the way, or whatever they have to do.
wouldn't cone still hit the hourglass people at that point?
But they wouldn't have the tower stack.
It's fair.
Yeah, I mean there are other ways you could do effectively the same thing, since the first tower basically has a cone and a tower, and that's 8 stacks, and you can kind of distribute them based off position.
Yeah, I mean,
So if we're gonna have the people that are kiting the balls take a cone, they might as well take a tower because they're gonna be at basically that spot anyway. There's no reason
Yeah,
to not have
that's
them
what
take
I
it at
was-
that point.
last pull I was wanting to see the timing, and
But if the ball's like right there,
Trying to direct a cone between the towers
Well,
is.
how about this?
Scary.
Depending on the spacing, how about the people who are making the hourglass stand clockwise at just outside their tower, or counterclockwise, because the ball will come too close to them if they're standing clockwise. But they stand counterclockwise. So, like, if you're standing here on the edge and you have an hourglass, and your spot would have been 4, then the person who is at yes.
You know, I'm looking at the graphic. If you're outside the tower, then you are due cardinal. Like, there is enough space to stand. That's about it.
That's going to make it hard to dodge the orb. Maybe more like here.
Well, hold on. So we're not actually hard pressed to figure out and distribute who gets stacks where when. We haven't made it far enough yet. This is part of the problem here. So there's many ways to do.
Yeah, from my understanding, there are a few different.
So we need to get far enough to see what's the forcing mechanic in this phase.
Well, the thing we do know, no matter what, is that can't the chain people not take the second towers?
they can
because-
if they do the hourglass.
Yeah, so I thought that the cone was going to go off either right between the first and second towers. It seems that the second set of the second cones, which we're still assuming exists, because somebody spoiled that. No. Assuming that the second cone happens after the second towers, then you can have exactly the 2 towers and the 1 cone, and that's all that you can guarantee that those people take.
After that, you just have to start adjusting. But I want to.
So-
this is the thing: is I want to see what the adjusting mechanic is.
So when you're hourglass, though, if you guys have to go, if like 1 and 2 have to be together on one of the towers, don't you still have a? Oh no, wait, you're tethered to. Oh, okay, I
It's
see.
sideways
why.
hourglass.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay then. Yeah.
By the time the second towers come out, has the ball already passed past that tower?
Well, if we stay to the side, I think it should probably be about at them, so the people in the towers might need to be offset on the edge. But there should be clearance even if it is there.
Might be a
There you
little.
go. That's the thing. You gotta just have your toe in the tower, and the ball sails right between you.
Been training my whole life for this. Black mage things.
Or the people with balls can just stay offset.
Alright, so are we making
think
any
the-
adjustments, or are we just trying to execute better on this?
I legitimately don't quite know what the timing for that is because everything's exploded when the balls were in the center.
Yeah, let's execute better. At least, if we can get seriously, if we can get 5 seconds farther, we're gonna know the answer.
Yeah, let's see if we can at least survive the second towers.
So, I'm sorry. What?
You could stop there.
We're
wanna
changing
make sure-
nothing. We're changing nothing.
Okay.
So we're still running the balls through the middle. We're still having the towers take the first cone. We're still having 1 tethered to 3. I guess we'll call this the 1-3-4-2 strat.
I hate it. Let's do it. We can work on that name though.
Is this a branding issue?
We'll call it the crisscross strat.
Just cross applesauce.
I mean, it's better than the multi-crucifix strat. Because that's kind of the formation we're making.
front. 2 side.
I hate that she teleports there. I lose a cast every time.
East west.
Oh, you're right. I'm dumb.
Wow, those things are wide. They are wider than they look.
I got him.
Tank privilege.
Behind.
I've never seen what the animation for that looks like up to this point. She's got 2 swords. She goes snip.
It's only one hit though.
It is exactly the same animation as normal mode, just
Flip away.
Who's got time to pay attention to animations in
with
normal
the
mode?
wall.
Get in.
Nope. Nope.
Again, it wasn't.
What happened?
I hit my ball. Well, the other ball.
I've hit my ball before. It's painful.
It did not.
That's something I don't have to worry about.
It did not do enough to kill though.
Never.
No,
No, I was. Yeah, no. Placeholder and I were dancing around the towers. Oh.
Ah,
Also,
That was enough to kill.
Are we sure the tether still exists, since it looked like the countdown was going away?
I have a super selfish request. Why are we doing DPS adjust there?
That is a good question.
Because we don't
Two
know.
of our DPS don't like to move.
Well,
That was not a problem with DPS adjusting, to be
so
clear.
The reason
Yeah,
is
it was.
that
Yeah, it is. We have to determine which
Yeah,
tether
no,
we
but,
have and then decide if
he
we're
and
crisscrossing
I-
or not.
Yeah, he and I
reason
didn't-
is that the tanks and healers can always know which place to stand. The DPS will never know, even if we have its healers and tanks adjust. You'll never
Oh, 'cause
know.
there's 2
You
DPS
can never
tethers.
pre-position.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Okay.
At very least, if the tanks and healers are in a fixed position, you can see who you're tethered to and know which spot to go to.
Well, he.
so
That's
so
a good
here's a wild thought. What if it's supposed to be 1 melee, 1 ranged? Get it, and it is 100% predictable.
But then we don't know.
Wouldn't you be getting it ever?
But I haven't gotten it, so I don't know if that's screwing it up. Wrong kind of thought.
What is that long face for, Kanata?
The Midori doesn't have to worry about hitting ball.
No, he did that face before I said that comment. I think it was
Ah.
directed at the ball comment.
Oh, it
Oh.
seemed like it came out awfully late.
There were balls involved.
There always seem to be balls involved.
We've somehow managed to avoid getting into a pit over whether or not balls can touch, so
We
victory.
determined the balls can in fact touch.
Victory is claimed. I know, but the point is there were no rude jokes about it.
We've done so many in XDeath already.
Well,
Yeah, I was worried
you were
about
not raiding at the same time as
do
us.
like it has with several other groups.
Yeah, we're kind of over it.
Let's just say that we were at some point unable to make it through setting a D marker without having a joke.
Behind. 3 side.
I like that fact that it's behind coincidentally means you're also
No! That's supposed to be safe!
Also running all the way to the
slightly
edge.
farther away. You need to go. You need to
My
go.
toes! No.
You need to go one more chevron in. Or, well, half a chevron.
I fucking...
Does that go through res immunity, or are you just moving?
Look. The very first thing that I do whenever I res is resummon my pet.
North south.
I just want to know whether it's your fault or ours. That's not our fault.
I wouldn't know.
Ah.
I have never accepted a res without...
I died because I was at half health. So
Yeah,
that was someone's
yeah.
fault.
Oh no.
Just
Oh, that's
saying.
a lot of people dead.
You say chevron, and I think there should be 9 of them.
I think of little clay animation cars.
I think
okay.
of something military.
My office is
Technically related
corporate
to my.
headquarters, and their office has a big median that sticks into the crosswalk. It completely blocks the crosswalk. Like, fuck you, I'm Chevron. You don't get to cross my street.
Yeah, that's pretty dickish. Yeah, personally, I associate it with the design because of Stargate.
Yes, well, the Stargate has 9 chevrons. That's the
Way too
point.
much sci-fi in the hospital.
Yes, the Stargate has 9 chevrons.
Woo! I didn't even take the first hit.
You totally took the first hit.
It's impossible. I waited until like 3/4 of a second later than usual.
In front.
This one's a lot easier to dodge because it's a straight line. Like, this is guaranteed safe.
North south. You behind. Look away. Get in.
Yeah, so you can outrange it.
You're like way over there.
Yeah. No, the donut's not that big. I just didn't know if it had changed. And the answer is no, it's still pretty small. It looks like casters could just stay out.
I got the chain this time.
Woohoo! Look at that.
Oh, they get super small.
Woo! Everyone died. Why did
But to
everyone
something
die?
new.
What did everyone die to? I don't know. It's just like it looked like everything was going perfect.
Someone clipped a ball, I think.
Blinding pulse.
Which, which
us.
killed. Yeah, someone clipped the ball, which killed me, which caused some my tether to one of my tethers to explode, and then the other tethers explode in chain reaction.
Wait, did it? I don't think that's what killed us. I think somebody on the south side.
Someone clipped the ball, and then I died, and then everything went. Some other people started blowing up.
So far, the two ways
Maybe your
we've
DPS
seen kill
partner
us.
died.
When the chains break, we die to Refulgent Fate, and when an
Mhm.
orb pops early, it's to the Blinding Pulse thing. So we took 2 hits of Blinding Pulse, so it was definitely an orb failure.
Okay, so the north-south orb probably shouldn't go straight north-south after a bit.
No, wait. The orb's on a set path. Why don't the people in the towers just adjust? Why don't we just rotate an eighth?
No, I'm saying like, as the second towers come down, the orb is passing by like this point where the towers are. If I have
Yeah, it's passing between the two people. You need to just have your toe in the tower, basically, on
so
your
like
side,
just-
and let the orb pass between you.
Our side seemed mostly fine.
Oh, you can put an orb between 2 people in a tower?
It probably
I-
small
I
enough
think-
by then because
So,
they're getting
I-
smaller as they.
The last
sketchy.
shrine.
Towers are pretty big, and the 2 people in them aren't tethered to each other. If you're
Can
doing
you link your stream? I just want to see the last few seconds because
When
I'm
they-
pretty sure.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm pretty sure you can get behind the balls at that point.
Yeah, Tam, do they have to shrink once or twice before you eat them?
Just once.
When they hit this ring right here that I'm jumping on, like, so if I was tethered to the one at A, when it hit this is when it was super. So you don't really
Oh
need.
my god,
to go.
I hate watching your stream.
Yeah, it's rough. You don't need to go like all the way out. If we're gonna be eating them, then you really only gotta be like here.
Could you do me a favor and shrink Bahamut on your screen for these runs?
Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah, I can't see shit. I mean, that's not my problem. Alright, so... this much goes fine.
Next week I'll have higher quality on my video or on my stream.
I'd rather be watching your stream right now.
So yeah, let's say Tam's also streaming. So
I don't know
Kanata's doing
why.
great.
Kanata, you're losing
Frame by
viewers.
frame for you.
I don't
Why-
realize why it's lagging so much.
Well, I mean, even if it weren't lagging, I can't see anything because your interface covers up 90% of what I want to see. You have
Are
like
you-
5 rows of fucking buttons in the middle. At least you closed your minimap.
Are you
Well,
using like
regular balls.
OBS or like shadow play to
OBS.
stream? Isn't shadow play less intensive on the computer?
I don't see why it's lagging. I'm getting 60 on this.
Okay,
Because shadow
Well,
play broadcast like copies it straight from your frame buffer. I thought.
Alright, there goes the blinding light.
I'm gonna definitely hit Nearest. Yep. Kanata tried to drag his ball off to the side, and it clipped Nearest, who probably had no idea where the ball was.
Oops.
I also took a cone and I wasn't supposed to take a cone.
no, I wasn't paying attention to the balls because I was trying to see how much damage people were taking at that moment.
Yeah, I mean,
Apparently
maybe
too much.
thinking the cone would have killed us. I don't know, but it didn't kill us that time.
Okay, yeah, so at that point the balls were still in the middle. They had not yet gone to the edge. And yeah, the real question is like, shouldn't say question. It's like, if you're dragging your ball across, you have no reason to move to the side. So you need to just stand on the marker opposite of your thing.
Yeah, we should be okay to pull it through. It's fairly tight, but we have plenty of time to position.
Also, I don't think the towers go off immediately.
No, but it's just always sketchy whenever there's like balls moving around. But yeah, let's just take it through the middle. And assume that it will be okay. Just like we assume that things will be okay behind. Just like we assume that things will be behind us and okay with Corona.
East-west. Oh, what?
Game not go off.
No, it did, but the invulnerability didn't go off.
Look away.
Get in. Or way out.
Oh, just
Not
barely.
quite far enough.
Okay, so it goes to like right here.
Yeah. No, it's the edge of cast range is outside. But well, that wasn't quite enough.
No, I fucked that up. I had my camera facing the way, so when I dodged right, I dodged into it. Alright, again.
Let's put in them reps. I'm making weightlifting motions like I know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I believed you.
I
So
took
there's
weight
this
training
animal-
classes a long time ago.
There's this animal on my island, and he keeps talking about like muscle training and like weightlifting and shit like that. But I've never seen that fucker lift a single weight. I just see him sitting around eating a lollipop half the time. This guy always wants people to think. He just wants you to think that he's like a gym rat.
Well, he can't be a gym rat if you don't give him a gym. Give him a happy bag.
I've seen people doing exercises who don't talk about training all the damn time.
That's
Do
just
they do
cardio.
yoga?
Cardio kills your gains. You don't do that from muscle mass.
In front.
Come on, man. He needs to have a set of free weights so that he can just throw them on the ground.
I mean, lifting only gets you like 30% of the gains. It's throwing the weights on the ground. That's what gets you.
This we know to be true.
You're apparently sitting around
And the
eating
steroids.
lollipops.
Don't
And
forget
then
the
there's the
steroids.
steroids. They help.
Oh, that explains what the lollipops are then.
Both south.
At least if you're trucking weights, you're playing for the paper toss.
Midori, with the last minute adjustments, catches my toe.
Oh, I'm so fucked.
Now I'm slow.
I don't like getting this slow.
I think keep not wanting to do it because it keeps being inconsistent about whether or not I get hit, but I think I need to not go to the bleeding edge.
Roy,
I haven't
Now-
pushed a button.
Can we
I'm gonna
take
touch
this
my ball.
forward?
Boom. Oh no.
I was surprised there's the cones.
We had too many stacks.
Right. So
Well, the
There's a
people
lot of
with
time.
the people with the chain have 4 stacks when the second tower goes out. Or I should say after the second tower, so...
There should be
Is-
4 people with fewer than 4.
Well,
That's not the question. The problem is that some of the tower people do have 4 stacks, probably.
That's fine. They just
No.
have to
well, they
get
can't
away.
take the last tower then.
no, I'm just saying that after the second tower is... If we keep doing this, that's when we need to start mixing things up.
So I think it's possible for the orb people to take the final tower. They don't have to go that far out. Like, the orbs are at their smallest, like when they're basically here. If those orb people get hit by that ball, they can just run into the center afterward and take the last tower.
the people who are taking the tower need to not be close to them
Yeah.
Yeah.
because those do quite a bit
Oh, right, they explode.
that will
But
go into the numbers.
You know,
so do they have
tethers-
time to take the orb? So if the second tower goes off and we just run out, and they have time to take their orb and get into the 4th tower?
But here's
Okay,
the real question.
so we just have to run
What
out.
are we doing for the cone? Because the cone seems to happen pretty shortly after the second tower.
Well, if they're on the Cardinals, then they would the cone, and they're running into the last. They're running in to get it, and we're running out. Then they would get the last one, and we're on the intercardinals, so we
Yeah,
shouldn't get hit by the
the,
cone, right?
The chains fall off when the second tower hits, so at that point we're free to go off wherever.
So what it sounds like, correct me if I'm wrong, is we need to have alright, let's suppose Ifrit and I are sharing a tower. We're standing like right here, we're like, oh shit, let that orb pass through. Tipsy toes are in the tower, and then as soon as that tower goes off, we gotta like book it this direction. So
Yeah,
that
and he
we
goes
are,
the other way.
like, not the closest people and also not on the cardinals. And meanwhile, the orb people, I can't control any other people. Let's
Right.
say we have the orb people, and they are running in. At the point that they get to here, they're gonna clip their own ball, and
Which should be
then-
okay.
Which should be fine, because at this point, the people who had the tower run out, and then they stack in the middle. So the explosions will happen like around here-ish, and should not clip each other, and they should also not clip the people who are who took the last tower.
So, to account for people like running too quickly, should we just plan on exploding the orbs on this ring right here before we run into the middle so we don't overlap?
Yes.
I mean,
I think
it-
it's safe.
That is where it looked like the orb was on my screen when I was running back in.
I like this strat. I don't see why it wouldn't work.
Okay, and so it's like, once again, the DPS will be on 3 and 2. We will be standing right here always, and then we're gonna run out to like this point in the arena.
Just got to here.
I mean, you should be probably fine if you're going here-ish.
I'm trying to
If you're being super safe, yeah.
maximal safeness is you run just like due east or whatever from your tower, and you try to get it. Make sure that you aren't getting clipped by a ball. making sure that you're also not closer than any of the people who are tethered.
Yeah, just for healer things, I can save a lily so I can cast that on the way out for random healing. Kanata, if Indom's up, I would suggest doing it. At the same time, we can't guarantee who's where, but just somewhere in all that running, healing should happen probably.
How long do we have between the cone and the orb pop? I would like at least 3 seconds, because I'm probably going to use a fairy skill, and they are just really slow.
Worse than slow, they're unpredictable. Like, you'll hit the button and it might happen a half second later, it might happen 3 seconds later.
Flashbacks
if you want at least 3 seconds, it's
Not
probably not going to be on an inner ring.
Yep.
I will say that the cone themselves do a whole lot of damage. It looks like nothing there does significant damage by itself. It's the cumulative I'm worried about.
One more pull.
Okay.
So just to go over that, we are basically stopping just outside the inner ring, and so that we get the cones if we're tethered.
Okay, so just a recap. If you have the chains, you're going to take the tower. The orb is going to pass through. As soon as the tower explodes, your chains should fall off and you run out. The person who has the ball at that point, as soon as the towers explode, you run in and you take your ball on the ring, and then you run in some more to take the middle tower with the other people who had the balls.
Ah, the third tower. Okay, gotcha.
Yes, and so the people who had the balls should be on the ring, which means that, she's the closest as possible. Anyone who's outside of the ring should not get targeted for the cone.
Okay.
The other option, I suppose, would be to deploy an Adlo after light rampant hits, because it should be off cooldown then, right? Inference is, I know.
Assuming somebody is dedicated to standing in the middle of the arena, an Adlo deploy should hit everybody. It should hit the arena. But that assumes that there is a person who is standing dead center that cannot.
Even Kanata targeting it off itself.
Can't deploy off yourself. Boom, 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 boom.
You can now.
Can now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Since when?
Since the expansion dropped.
Behind.
Since you can't target EOS anymore?
3.
Yeah, I can't forget the other one.
That's... Well, you actually can, kind of.
Not with the spell.
But the point is, it's big enough that you don't need to be in the exact center if he deploys off of stealth. From
And deploy the trap. So
near the middle edge. You'll probably hit everyone.
I'll probably just have a... move on.
East-west.
I don't know if you actually need deploy. I was just thinking about time.
Look away. Get out.
Oh, I ran in too soon.
That explosion is huge. We're going early.
Okay, gotta not be too jumpy on that.
I got out as soon as I could. That thing, oof. Well, how far away was your ball when you ran in? Did you like have a good amount of time yet?
I could have waited more. It was. Alright, I'm not gonna walk too much farther. You see the little diamond, the black diamond right in front of me?
Yeah.
That's where it was at.
Okay.
Yeah,
So when I ran in, because I ran in this immediately, I was really probably too fast.
Well, I don't know
it
if
went
you
off
were.
right here.
'Cause I
it
basically
looked like there was
flight
plenty.
out of the tower. So
I could have waited half a second and Tam wouldn't have died.
Yeah, it
The
looked like
problem
there was
is-
plenty of time. I was standing over here, and I had about 2 GCDs between when your explosion hit and when we actually died.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, killing
Or I
Tam
should
didn't
say,
kill
and
us.
Between when between when your explosion hit and when I died to the cone is what I should clarify. So time doesn't seem to be an issue.
Well, I mean, there's another thing that's pushing the time, which is the cones go out really quickly afterwards. So if I was still running back, like I'm like, oh, I got lots of time, and then like I start running in, and then the cones went out when I was like here. So
You were still much closer than me if we actually make it all the way out here, which is
Yeah, and we can hover on the outside of the meteor
Yes.
tower thing if you want. That would immediately
Yeah.
put us closer if they move out. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
probably what we should be doing, is hovering right outside the circle.
yeah,
And
there's
Sit
let
there.
the balls come to you, right?
Yeah, we don't have to. Yeah. Well, you do have to run in to take the tower, but
No, sorry, the ball people.
right. But I mean, you have to run in to take the last one. We can't just. I don't know how long.
We have time after the balls and tethers
Okay.
happen to run in.
The mistake that I made was I stayed out, and you can be
I'll do
a lot
expert.
closer. I will do expert.
I'm gonna head out. I'll see you guys on Friday.
I'm gonna go to sleep.
Yeah, you can be just outside. You can be just outside the.
I think that should work. Unless there's something else that happens. It might feel weird to have half the party take 3 buffs and then have the other half of the party take 3 more. I think that's just the right way. It's pretty straightforward. Instead of trying to play games where you try to keep everybody's stacks down as low as possible.
I don't have a level 80 tank.
Well, then roll higher than a 224.
Catch you all later.
Good night.
Can I please heal?
Hi, roller, but yeah, I can't.
I need
I don't
healer
have one, do
here.
you? So
Do you have a healer?
Midori wants to heal.
Can I please heal?
Midori wants healer loot.
I'm sorry that I'm ruining your system.
Why am I party lead?
Because Konada invited 4 people for expert and then left.
Oops, I didn't count. Maybe I just don't get bad expert parties.
I don't know how that's possible.
I don't either.
It does not matter which roll I get. The run, like 50% chance is going to be slow. Either because the tank doesn't pull, the healer's bad, or the DPS are just... We don't know what AoE is.
AoE is the thing you stand in.
You are correct.
That's why you pull as the healer, you do the highest Ds, and then you just have Aos do all the healing.
See, I don't think it's that you don't get bad experts. I think it's that your tolerance for bad players is higher.
I mean, I just pretended on this. I don't know, I'm just like, oh, the tank's not pulling, so I'll just pull the next pack of tank. Or the DPS is bad. But the tank's good, and the tank can just not need healing. Or the tank's bad, but that just means I do most damage. Like in this group, I'm second weakness. And it's like fine. There's nothing wrong with that. They're not good, but they're fine. Like one of the dancers is doing like 14,000, and the other dancer is doing like 9. There's a very clear difference in ability here.
Like gear?
But it's over 9,000.
The one with 1,000 extra HP is doing 40% more deeps.
Interesting.
Maybe it's the weapon.
I was like, maybe if it's
So the
all
weapon will do it.
Yeah, 470 weapon versus a wait. The one that's doing more damage has a 10 eye levels lower weapon.
Maybe they just know how to push button.
Weird.
doesn't sound like a maybe at this point.
Weird. Wait, the Dark Knight has top damage on a single target.
Yeah.
Now that's bad.
That's how you know they're both bad.
Weird. This is weird.
Is
It's
it?
not weird.
Is it?
That's
is
not
it
the
weird?
right word.
I guess I just don't notice that I get bad parties, I guess.
That's why I'm saying your tolerance for bad players is higher.
I see.
You're like, I'm just going to play solitaire, and eventually the run will be over.
Yep.
Like, not a bad self-defense mechanism, but that is certainly how I have treated all of my runs with my trusts.
Oof.
It's a single player game where sometimes your units do something helpful. Sometimes. Time between those pulls is no way to keep Eye of the Storm up.
Just awkward enough.
Exactly.
I have top deeps on a single target. You're right. One of the dancers does not know what the AoE button is.
And dancers have like the stupid easiest AoE rotation ever. It's the same as your single target rotation.
Or maybe they're hitting it, but it's not hitting it.
They're not standing in the right spot.
Maybe. I don't know. They're doing half as little as the tank.
See, if you were Rafira right now, you would actually be, like, raging out.
But why? The run's only gonna be like 3 minutes slower.
You say that I was kind of raging because he picked me for a mechanic.
No, there's at least 2 people doing more damage than me on the boss.
I'm gonna do the whole thing.
To the end. Your fun pull.
You wanted to heal.
Wow! Hey man, it's the most exciting pull, like, in the history, not in the history, Snowcloak was probably worse. But like, in recent history.
Actually, it doesn't seem that bad.
No, you ran out of mana pretty easily.
Not when you have decent DPS.
Oh, well, we don't always have decent DPS in Pugs. You definitely run out of mana. And like, the tank runs out of cooldowns too. I wonder how far this guy's gonna go. Oh, boring. Oh yeah, if you have an LB, it makes it like 10 times easier.
I was not even worried.
I was.
Isn't it exciting? It's the most exciting healing you can do.
Even in like shit gear, like I'm still using 470 gear. I have not upgraded a single piece of gear on my warrior. I don't feel like I could possibly die on that pull.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you never had the pull last like 3 minutes?
Nope.
You run out of cooldowns. You like run out of things to use.
You have so many things.
You do have a lot of things, that's true. There's so many things to do.
If you're ever worried about the pull, it's not your fault.
Fair enough. Oh, the other thing is when the DPS run the line AoEs, And they just start, like, running around, trying to avoid them, but you can't.
They're like, how does this mechanic work?
Yeah, so then they, like, hit everyone with both charges. Or sometimes there's 3. And everyone takes 3 charges. You're like, well, now what do I do? And then, like, 10 seconds later, everyone takes 3 more charges. You're like, guys, stop running around like chickens.
Expert's not supposed to be challenging.
But you're supposed to be an expert to do.
Oh.
God, no comms, but a party.
Oh.
How did your April Fool's thing go over?
Oh, it was very well received. We got lots of haha reacts.
That was great. That was actually cool.
Oh, did you not know what we were working on?
No, I did see it beforehand, but I didn't actually see any of the. I knew it was happening. I didn't actually like see it.
Know what the art looked like?
Yeah, I didn't look at the art, and I didn't really follow the chat and what you were doing in the apartments. I knew you were like doing something like the the bro thing, right? I knew the theme, but not the execution. Execution's pretty good.
It was like, I want to say, about half as good as it turned out with the first pass. I'm like, this isn't quite what we were looking for, and I had to do some really gross Google searches. And it turns out, like, the Google hits that I had to look for were like cartoon, girls, and guns. And that's when we got like the perfect image reference that turned into the final art.
What is this?
So
Damaku
for
games.
Damaku, we
Anmaku.
yeah, we had an April Fool's where here, I'll just send you a link to the Discord server.
There. Even with the worst DPS on the planet, it's only like 3 minutes longer.
And that's 3 minutes you'll never get back.
That's true. It's okay,
All right.
got him.
So yeah, go to the announcements channel and read.
I have to say hello.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think I can approve you. I don't know how I do that. Oh, you were not automatically approved because you don't have a Discord avatar,
Wow.
which is, first off, I think weird, but okay. But second off, like, it's one of the signs for people who or for bots who do server storms, whatever. I think I can just manually give you the role. If I can find you in this list.
I mean, you should see me on the channel active.
There we go. Anyway, you're able to see the announcements.
Mhm. Whenever someone accidentally calls it an anime, but it has an anime. It has a fanime. Maybe that's what they're really into. Maybe that's their favorite part of it.
You're only allowed to make that defense if you can name the circle that made the fan anime.
Well, shit.
So yeah, that's what I was up until 5 a.m. doing last night.
I woke up at like 4:30 a.m.
So we were awake at the same time.
I was in denial about being awake for about 3 hours.
I don't think that's how awake works.
No, that's exactly how awake works.
When you wake up at 4:30, yeah.
And you just lie there and you're like, nope, I'm going to go back to sleep. We're just going to be
Except
asleep.
you don't. Just like, I'm gonna try to be asleep. Actually, that happened to me Monday night. I just like...
This is what happens when I get off. It's more like a multi-day cycle to get back on something reasonable.
Y'all...
Yeah.
Because, like, Saturday night I slept at, like, 7. So then Sunday night I slept at, like, 5. So then Monday night I also slept at, like, 5. Then I woke up at, like, 8. I was like, that might be a problem. Why did I wake up at 8? And then it just... The Tuesday was terrible. I had, like, 2 sleeps.
Rachel Harley.
It was great.
Katie and Nellie.